Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Arise and shine. It's Monday morning, another day, the first working day of the week. By the way, in this brand new week, thank God for life. As we usually say, life is very sacred. So, in as much we are awake, our eyes are wide open, and body parts are functioning well. Our mind is sane and okay. Thanks to God for the gift of life. That's the credo of everything. So it's another time to go again, to give it a shot again. Those things possibly you couldn't achieve last week, or possibly you did, but then you have to take it further and take it up higher there. Femi Ojo is my name, and I welcome you to Morning Spring today on Western Spring Television, channel 190 on Star Times DTT. This is where we look at critical and trending topical issues, those issues that you want us to talk about, to discuss, critiquing it, analyzing it, and bringing it on a platter for you to be a part of it every weekday at this time. And it borders on what is happening from A to Z, as I usually say, from anthropology to zoology, everything, governance, politics, human angle stories, day-to-day issues. That's what we look into here. You can join us on our YouTube channel, our Western Spring Television, and we're on our social media platforms as well. Same address, Western Spring Television, Facebook, Instagram, and X. You are welcome. And Evelyn, good to see you.
Yeah, good morning, Femi. How are you doing today?
Very well.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you.
Good morning, world. My name is Evelyn Ohiola. Welcome to another day, another week. This week launches us into the last month of the year 2023. Yes, we are finally getting to the end of the year, and we are grateful to God for life, who has spared us till this very moment. Like they say outside, since the beginning of the year till this time, what have you saved? I've saved my life.
That's very right. Savings, not savings.
Yes, because a lot of people might have saved a whole lot of billions in their account, but they are not yet to even spend it. So I am grateful to God that at least my life is here. And we still have the life to achieve whatever it is we want to achieve. So do not be sad, do not be downcast that your goals for 2023 have not been achieved till this present time. I mean, we still have 34 more days to the end of the year, so anything is possible.
Anything. It's possible, of course. Talking about possibilities, talking about promises, talking about what has been done, talking about fulfillment of promise, it has this juncture. That we will be looking in the course of the program at the government, the administration of the Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke. Today, November 27th, makes it a year that he was sworn in as the executive governor of Osun State. 1 year down the line, 365 days, promises kept, promises made, and promises kept, on the right track. What the policy direction, journey so far for that government. We will be critiquing that you know what they say about how time flies. At the stadium just a year ago.
Yes, 365 days ago.
Yeah, and when it was sworn in by the Chief Justice
just
of
1
State,
year later, we are having this discussion. And like you said, in the course of the program, we will be interrogating his achievements, the progress we have made as a state, and of course, looking very critically at his 5-point agenda. How much has he been able, I mean, we're talking about he now, the governor of the state, Governor Ademola Adeleke, how much has he been able to achieve, talking about his 5-point agenda?
Yeah, making good of his promise and promises as well. We will be interrogating that after the headlines on the program. We usually look at the headlines, but before that, there is this thing that happens, and most likely, most of the time, it happens towards the north. You see government sponsoring weddings, mass weddings, especially in Kano State, for example. And then I think it has been done again recently. But then this is something that many right-thinking persons will be thinking, what's the motive behind this actually? When you sponsor more than 1,000 people to go and wed, then as maybe to establish them, give them a token, give them a handout. So what happens after that? That's number one. Number two, what's the spirit behind it? Are these the functions of the government to say?
Well, you are asking the wrong person
Yeah, I
that
know,
question.
but we are
I
critiquing
feel,
this matter.
I feel
We all know the government, functions of any government. Sponsoring of weddings, mass weddings.
I feel it's a cultural thing over there, and it's some sort of empowerment. They call it. I mean, it's some sort of empowerment for the youth over there, because if you look at those people that have been sponsored for these weddings, they are mostly the youth. So for them, it's some sort of empowerment.
It was said recently in Kano, it was 1,800 couples, that were supported by the government, costing 800 million naira, Nigerian naira. Now, in Jigawa State, the government conducted wedding of 270 selected orphaned girls. So that should be interrogated more. Orphaned girls, okay, these are orphans, okay, let them get wedded or married off to some persons, either as first wife, as second wife, or whatever position they have. But then you keep wondering, what's the motive? You're calling it empowerment. How empowered are they when they do this? And they begin to, give birth to children. So what happens after? They're given 10,000, 20,000 naira. Okay, some of them given some ampas. After 1, 2, 3 months, what happens? What happens to the economy? What happens to the people? And this idea that we still see of government sponsoring people to pilgrimage, either to Jerusalem or to Mecca, many things we do in this country. By the way, some will say maybe because you have not been part of it, that's why you feel pain. But this is not about pain, it's about doing what is right. Okay, we'll take a short break right now. When we come back, we'll head straight to what the papers are saying. Don't go nowhere. All right, straight to the papers right now, and we have our guy. Sparrow did that song. Who is your guy? Ladeji Alabi is our guy. Good morning, Ladeji.
Oh, well, good morning.
Are you sure you're a guy?
Well,
I had to ask him that question.
Yeah, he's my guy.
I answer that inside of you if I am. I'm not. But for me, it's a pleasure to see you again this morning.
Thank you for
after
being
that
here.
beautifully spent weekend,
Yeah.
over here in our complex, and also
What a weekend
beautiful
it
evening.
was.
It's good to see you again.
All right, I was waiting for that. I thought you would not say it's beautiful to see me again.
I know. I never knew you can dance like that, but it is what it is. We also need to see the other side of you guys. Aside wearing the suits and speaking all the grammars.
Yeah.
Aside talking tough, we need to see the calm side of you.
That was the finale. Perhaps the people at home are thinking, what are they talking about? The finale of our anniversary week. It climaxed last night.
Of course, yes, of course,
Something
yes.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank God that we are here. You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you very much.
All right, straight to the headlines. Let's start from The Guardian. Quite instructive to start from there. This morning, banks brace for new monetary policy conduct and regulation. The Guardian. Banks brace for new monetary policy conduct regulation as Cardoso returns CBN to traditional monetary policy regime. Okay. All right, new framework for payment service policies, monetary tightening to continue till Q2 2024, new capital base for Nigerian banks, new forest guidelines and legislations. Talking about capital base, we'll be hearing, quite an humongous amount of money that each bank should have. And we're already seeing maybe some plans of few banks merging as it is. Right now, moving on. By the way, in spite of all this, Nigerians just want to be better. Whatever you do, they want to get better with their lives. Cool scare Sierra Leone declares curfew as ECOWAS condemns flood. Back again. NBS, that's Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. Imperative of creating stronger, vibrant data system. That's news analysis, page 4. Guba aftershocks, Kogi queries Monarch as APC gives Kano AG ultimatum. Guba aftershocks, Kogi queries Monarch as APC gives Kano AG ultimatum. Why? Check The Guardian, page 6 for that story. Women lawyers canvass castration of rapists. Right. Sarah urges World Bank to suspend loans to states. Why? Is on page 5. The judiciary and Justice Dattijo Mohammed's concern. You know, Justice Dattijo made the news very controversially like a month ago when he spoke, I think, at his retirement. Many things that many persons took the judiciary up on to say, okay, there is somebody that knows what he's saying. He has been part of the system, and he spoke about the virality, the independence, true independence of the judiciary. So, Ladeji, banks brace for new monetary policy conduct and regulation. Cardoso returns CBN to traditional monetary policy regime, just like they say in Nigeria. You know, Serikin Goma, Samanin Goma, meaning 10 dispensations, 10 kings. Yeah. Here we are. Cardoso, new framework for payment service policies, tightening to continue to Q2, new capital base for Nigerian banks.
Let me start by borrowing your words. That whatever the policies are, what Nigerians want to see is that their lives are better. Apparently, I know there are some of the policies that have actually helped the loss. Don't forget, there were years in the days of the likes of Savannah Bank, a lot of banks that collapsed, that people couldn't get their money.
People's Bank, yeah.
People's Bank, and that's why CBN started with the base of, you must have this particular capital. So even at all you are folding up. In fact, the new policy of CBN doesn't allow banks to fold up. The moment they see you cannot run again, they look for another, whatever that will take over and make sure that people do not lose their money unnecessarily, which for me is better off than making, because then you see a lot of pensioners lost their money. Yeah. There's nobody they could run to. But in recent years, you've seen banks.
Even businessmen, not just pensioners. Society General,
Bank
comes to mind.
Comes to mind when you mention such a thing. But now that we want to reverse back to the former line, I hope there are measures. Let me say this, that there is no perfect system, there is no perfect policies. Apparently, there will be loopholes in those policies. Yeah. But bad as it may seem, or whatever the loopholes that it may look like, it is better off that we look on how to mend them. For me, I don't know his plans yet. I've not read deeply into this, but I feel in terms of this, we need to watch it. If we are reducing the capital base of those banks, how do we manage that if crisis come? Because apparently things happens that will bring economic crisis to banks. How do we manage that people do not lose their money unnecessarily? And talking about FX, I think we need to manage that very well also. The issue of having different rates for some people, different rates for students, different. We need to we need to have. I support we having a singular rate that doesn't favor one person.
That's what the president said when he came in.
But
flattening of the naira, isn't it?
Yes.
Femi, we've had that, but in action, in reality, if you go to the forex market today, they will tell you official rate and the unofficial rate. And if we are saying we are floating the naira, we should have a single rate. That means the rate you see at the bank is the same rate you will see out there. Now, but realistically, the rate you see in the banks is different from what you see.
Ladeji, before we leave the Guardian, that makes me to want to interrogate further and to ask this question. The policy direction, financial policy direction under this administration so far, even the new person, CBN, will you say is looking like a trial and error kind of situation? Because, flattening of the naira is now, there was something before that, the flattening of the naira is not working. let's pump more dollars, and then the thing is like this, okay, let's go this way. Does it look like they have it there? Like this is what we are going, we've checked it, and we're going to take it through? Because it's looking like if we put this, it's not working, we put another one, we put another one, it's looking disorganized somehow.
Well, that speaks to the fact that most of the times, people that claim they are prepared for governance, they are not really prepared for it. It took us about a few months before we could gather, the set of ministers that will be working with, the president, and they came in, with some promises and promises and promises. And realistically, Femi, I will agree with you. We've seen a lot of trial and errors, okay, let's try this, it's not working.
Especially in the economy.
Let's try this, it's not working. Let's try this, it's not working. I think it is because we do not have a clear cut, and not until Nigerians begin to ask questions. We are more comfortable with somebody come to the campaign ground and all I want to do, I'm contesting against Femi, and all I come to the campaign ground to talk about is, oh, Femi is just too light-skinned, he will use your money to maintain his skin. That's not what we need. Okay, I want to build the economy, this is what I want to do about it.
Speaking to issues.
Let's speak to issues. But you would see, if you
And
go...
How are you going to do it?
It's not just about, I'm going to make the refineries work. How are you going to do it?
When?
I'm going to reduce the cost of governance. What are you going to do about it?
All right.
But, we are comfortable with, we just come there, we do jamboree, and at the end of the day, we come back to the same point.
All right, thank you. That will be all from the front page of The Guardian.
All right, we move straight to the Punch newspaper for this morning. Banking consolidation, mega banks boost 10 trillion naira capital base. Others seek fresh investors. With the riders, Wema Bank, Fidelity, others set for rights issue, over 8 national regional banks may require new capital. CBN may give lenders 12 to 24-month timeline for capital raising. Central Bank urged to engage banks, stakeholders. And lawmakers push for 32 new federal varsities. More details of that is on page 30. Armed robbers invade Ogunpoli communities, shoot students. There's a sad one here on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper for this morning. And moving to the top of the front page of the Punch newspaper, governorship bid, hotel cancels, Obaseki deputies venue booking. So we still have the victimization going on in Edo State. Get more details of that on page 22. Companies raise salaries by 4.6 trillion naira in 6 months. That's according to the National Bureau of Statistics. And lecturers shortage hits varsities. ASU blames JAPA IPPIS. And that's on page 2. Of the Punch newspaper this morning. Ladeji, let's talk education. I mean, we have that headline, lawmakers push for 32 new federal varsities. And another headline just on the Punch newspaper this morning, lecturers shortage hits varsities, ASU blames JAPA IPPIS. Why do we need new federal varsities? There's this thing about when we have new lawmakers in, they want to bring universities to their constituencies, and then we have proposals for more varsities. We have not been able to take care of the ones we have on ground. I mean, the ASU is complaining that there is lecturers shortage in universities. So how do we hope to maintain this 32 new universities coming on board if these plans work?
Well, first off, I think here in this part of the world, we create new universities just to make a statement, just for the sake of creating one. We are not really creating them because we want them to add value to the society. Because if we are doing that, then our fund for education will be higher than what we see in the annual budget. We will have more lecturers. The lecturers would be well paid. We have good facilities in those schools. Evelyn, take a tour around our federal and state-owned universities. I know you attended one of them, where transcript is like the immigration office, So it is the reality that we are not ready to fund education. Let me say that we don't have up to the number of universities in the United States. But many of these universities still give students up to 100% funding when they come for education. These are funded from various means. Now, but here we are, the few ones that we have, we've not been able to fund them very well. I attended a public university where, when we have a general class of about 2 departments, a borrowed course, blah, 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 we're up to 500 in the class. There are some students that will stand. The lecturer will speak on top of his voice. Everything doesn't just make sense. And you expect the student to come out with a fantastic result. No, it won't happen. It is not magic. It is not by prayers.
Yeah.
If we do not put actions into play, it won't happen. And, we talk about shortage of lecturers, but we've not seen the list or the last of it. More lecturers will move out because we have countries that, lecturers earn more than. I could remember last year there is a lecturer that normally analyzes on a radio station. He speaks grammar and all and all and all. And before you say Jack Robinson, the next time I was going to hear, oh, this also person joins us from Coventry in UK, I was like, oh, wow. No, we all believed in Nigeria. No, so that's the reality. Everybody wants a good life for themselves. And if you feel it is not working here, then you will move.
Then what's the way forward? We don't just have to complain all of the time. We have to
way
look for
forward
solutions.
is that we need to fund our education sector more.
But this funding, must it come specifically from the government? Because in other countries we have companies, we have individuals, philanthropists funding university education.
Evelyn, Yoruba people say a child that wants to be carried will first raise his shoulder. The government that owns those universities, what have they done? What are the subventions they give to those schools? I know the state-owned university, at a particular time, the former administration stopped giving them subventions. They asked them to go and source for fund. If you ask universities to go and source for fund, what are you telling them? Go and increase your school fee.
All right.
Go and create all these unnecessary pre-degree, all these JUPEB and all, get more fund. If the government is not ready to fund the education, then we are deceiving ourselves. Nothing will happen. Nothing will work. So before you want a philanthropist to come and fund your schools, first, government show seriousness. Fund those schools, monitor those monies so it won't go to private pockets. Then you can invite private sector people to come and fund it too.
All right, thank you so much, Ladeji. That will be all for the Punch newspaper this morning.
We head straight to the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune for today: why CBN governor is right on bank recapitalization. Experts: why CBN governor is right on bank recapitalization. Say inflation, naira depreciation, weakening capital adequacy of banks. Want national, regional, international banks to coexist. And ECOWAS condemns attempted coup in Sierra Leone. Suspense in Plateau over moves to inaugurate assembly. We have surpassed our first-year good governance target at Deleke. And NDLEA NAMS, organizers of Oshun illicit drug party. And NJC panel meets tomorrow to pick 11 new Supreme Court justices. Multiple bank charges amid the rising inflation worry Nigerians. Petroleum Minister waits into LPG supply price hike challenges. And new NJC panel meets tomorrow to pick 11 new Supreme Court justices. The rider now: SCGN Kutigi son, Abiro, Samani, others on FJSC priority list favored. Now, Obaseki, deputy, said for showdown, fixed event on same venue, Ladeji. Philip Shaibo, Godwin Obaseki.
Well, how easily, the quest for power can turn two lovers to straight up enemies in less than 8 years. It is sad. And it is sad that this make them lose concentration from governance. We give too much importance to politicking than governance here in this part of the world. And that is why we see stuff like this every now and then. I just hope Philip Shuaibu and his boss, now the way we call them, Godwin Obaseki, gets to settle this for the remaining months up until when Godwin Obaseki hands over. Governance must continue in Edo State. Nothing must stop the people of Edo to enjoy the good governance that they voted in for. So let them, whatever issues they have, it's a family affair, let them go and settle it. And it is funny, now that they've both, fixed, Well, I think we saw something like that in Osun a couple of years back. You know, I think when the former governor Itola and his former boss, you know, Aregbe, was trying to hold an event, and they said, no, hotels should not allow them. I think we should stop all this victimization. We are in a democracy, for crying out loud. People should be able to hold their event in as much as the event is legal. Let them hold their event. There are many venues across the state. Why are we picking the same venues? Why are we trying to frustrate the effort of the other person? Okay, so there's going to be a primary in the PDP. If Shuaibu said he wants to contest, let him contest. If he wins the primary, he becomes the flag bearer. And if he doesn't, another person becomes the flag bearer. So why frustrating the other person, for crying out loud?
Yeah.
We don't need it.
That will be all from the Nigerian Tribune for today.
All right, let's take a look at Daily Independent newspaper for this morning. Investors, OK's bank's fresh recapitalization urge transparency, caution Apex Bank on timing, task it on forex inflation, want process to be more about incentives than coercion. United Nigeria Airlines diverts Abuja flight to Asaba over bad weather. Gunmen kidnap, kill Imo monarch. A sad one there on Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Israel vows to restart fighting in Gaza after hostages return. Tinubu presidency is God ordained, says Oba of Benin. And more headlines on Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Curfew in Sierra Leone after gunmen attack on military barracks, detention centers. 87 trillion naira debt. Syrup asks World Bank to scrutinize loans to Nigeria's states. Alleges mismanagement, diversion of funds by sub-nationals. And top strip of Daily Independent newspaper this morning, Senate to probe FG's 250 billion naira gas expansion program. And former minister tackles Obasanjo over democracy not working for Africa commits. Ladiji, 87 trillion naira debt. Syrup asks World Bank to scrutinize loans to Nigeria's states. How do you react to this?
Well, the reality is, will World Bank, scrutinize? Will they even stop, borrowing? Don't forget, sometimes last year, World Bank came out to say Nigeria, we cannot keep borrowing. Our borrowing power compared to what we generate is not really working that we blah. And a few months later, the same World Bank is ready to borrow Nigeria loan again. They also want to make more money. Okay. The money they make from is what they borrow other people too. Now, but the reality is that we've seen a lot of states run into debt. We've seen loans being taken for funny projects. In fact, a lot of projects uncompleted. Yeah. And the ripple effect is that it's still the citizens that will pay the money. Government is not doing any business that will make them repay those money. It is still the citizens. How do you pay back? Tax. You pay more tax and tax and tax on everything. Now, I feel our government also need to get serious. All right. Let's reduce it. Let's look inward. We can make this money inward. Let's look inward. We can produce what we can give out to other African nations and make more money from it. It is sad to see that a federal minister will come out last week to say federal government cannot, purchase substandard made in Nigeria vehicles. What is more demarketing than that? So if tomorrow those companies, the one in Lagos, the one in Nnewi, the other one in Abeokuta, tries to sell their product to Benin Republic, won't they come back and tell you, your minister said you guys have some standard product? While in China, they force you, they make sure that you use made in China product. Let us all use those substandard together. Yeah. That we can improve on it. Let me put this to you, Evelyn. About 10 years ago when Android phones came out, you are not proud to use a China-made phone. Today, most of the phones we use are built in China. Even some of your iPhones, they only have their whatever in the United States. Because of the cheap labor in China, they were built there. And everybody wants to use China for the techno you were not proud to use then. Everybody uses it with joy now. How do we grow our economy when we feel we have substandard products and we don't want to improve on them? So we are still joking. we are not ready to improve. That's why we borrow more loans to squander on unnecessary things, and we just move around the same circle.
Before I move to Femi, do you think it's within the purview of World Bank to actually scrutinize whatever the states use the money for?
All right, so there is a place of, there are even loans that the federal government borrow you, and they will tell you what you borrow the loan for is what you use it for.
Okay.
I know there are loans. I know there was a particular project Osun State handled a few years ago. The organization that funded the project monitored, through and through to see, did you use the money for that? I feel there are mechanisms also. If I'm coming to your bank to borrow a loan, a loan for a business, I should not divert it to another thing. Do you get? But that has been what we have seen in this case. In most cases in Nigeria, loans that we borrowed to build roads are being diverted, and it's not good for a struggling economy like ours.
All right, thank you, Ladeji. Femi was saying the other time about states in the north that sponsor
Imagine
weddings.
we go borrow loan to get people married, and I laughed when Evelyn called it empowerment. What sort of empowerment is that? And Femi raised a very important issue there. Yeah. So I empowered you to get you married. The husband is jobless, the wife is jobless. And you guys, and the way things are done there, you begin to reproduce yala yala, and at the end of the day, we go back to the same point. It doesn't work that way. If you want to empower people, get them education, get them gainfully employed, they can get married when they are ready.
All right, that's all we can take on Daily Independent newspaper for this morning.
All right, so the Nation newspaper for today. CBN revises measures to curb food energy inflation. All right, that sounds like good news, but it is done. And Cardoso to unveil plan. Government cautions producers against export amid soaring gas price. That's one that is getting many persons worried now. And it is crucial that we prioritize price stability to safeguard the livelihood of our fellow Nigerians. Talking about the price of cooking gas, quite astronomical at this time. Now heading into the Yuletide, it's one of a challenge. United Nigeria Airlines explained diversion of Lagos-Abuja plane to Asaba. This is one that got many persons talking because, many social media accounts said they were told they were going to Abuja. In fact, it was announced that they are in Abuja, only for the people to realize they are in Asaba. Quite interesting. All right. Shaibu's declaration renews Edo 2024 battle with Obaseki. Clash of camps likely at venue. Right. ECOWAS condemns attempt to truncate democratic government in Sierra Leone. Just last week, former President Olusegun Obasanjo talked about governance in Africa, and if actually democracy is really meant for Africa, or there is a type of democracy that should be for Africa. Now we are hearing attempted coup in Sierra Leone. All right, $134 million AFDB loan will boost dry season farming, food security, coming from the Minister for Agriculture. Federal government woos foreign investors with 100% FX repatriation, and Adeleke's absence on anniversary day raises dust in Osun. All right, that's that. So, Ladeji here. Let me take you up on the $134 million AFDB loan that will boost dry season farming and food security. What's your take on that?
Well, now, so let me
African Development Bank loan. Let
me be optimistic now.
Yeah.
That we spend it wisely, we spend it rightly. That's the only way it can boost all these things we're talking about. If those money goes into private pocket,
wrong hands.
If it goes to wrong hands, if it doesn't get to the farmers, the real farmers that are on the farm, my dear brother and sister, nothing will happen. We'll still come back next year to go to AFDB to borrow another loan. We'll still go to the same route. So we need to monitor the way we spend our money. Yeah. A couple of times, I've also agreed with people that have the opinion that we do not have money generation problem. We have spending problems. We spend unnecessarily on a lot of things. we spend too much money on governance than even those things that run the economy. We are an agrarian society. We cannot deny that. Even before the coming of the colonizers, the northern part, the southern, even before the amalgamation of 1914, we are an agrarian society. We can't shy away from it. We need to go back to the farm. But we cannot do the farm the way our forefathers were doing it in the 19th century.
And hoes.
We need to go into mechanized farming. And that is why we are borrowing all these loans. But if you are borrowing loans for farming and we are using those loans to buy SUVs for government people, to buy SUVs for commissioners, to buy SUVs for House of Assembly members, then we'll still, you know, it's sad. Go to our farm settlements. You know, in the days of Awolowo, those farm settlements were there to have farmers. They grow food for the society to eat. But now we've turned those farm settlements to GREs. We will live, but we don't have food in our stomach to live in those houses.
All right, interesting to say what the kind of farming that we do in the past is not the kind of farming they are doing right now. No, it's not the cutlass and the whole.
Of course, yes, we need to go mechanized.
When you even say commercialized and mechanized, you must have the fact that it must be done with a bit of technology. You know why?
Of course, yes.
In advanced countries, they don't wait for rain again.
Of course.
They make things happen.
You have to, you know, there are countries where it doesn't rain.
And that's why they're talking about
sent to us.
Dry season farming. We hope it will be done the right way. I know, before we leave there, government talking about CBN revising measures to cut food, energy inflation. With this one, government cautions producers against export amid soaring gas price. Now, this place is talking about producers exporting. How about the ones inside? Because I was reading an article yesterday that talked about maybe one of the reasons why the price of cooking gas is soaring is the fact that some of them are having issues sourcing dollar, by the way, and you want to wonder what's the impact of dollar in all of this, because this is done here. We have the NLNG, and you know we have these things here. But in the middle of all that, many persons will think this is just grammar. Gas price is increasing.
Of course, yes, Femi. And the reality is that because our economy has been dollarized, so many of they will tell you, even the mama that is selling gari, now if you go to her and tell her, the palm wine tapper will also tell you dollars reason, so the price of palm wine must go up.
Of course. And if you care to listen, they will explain.
Of course, they will explain something that actually...
Because actually, it is a ripple effect.
Apparently.
They're buying other things that is affected by the dollar. So they have to also increase their price to be able to afford those things.
It affects everybody. So that speaks to why, you know, the gas, whatever, will also make the excuse of dollar. However, also, they know when they export, they make more money. Just like in the issue of PMS. Don't forget that from Nigeria, people use our the PMS that we've subsidized here.
Take it out.
They take it to Benin Republic, take it to all these neighboring countries. 2014, I was in Benin Republic. Driving through, you know, Semeboda Igolo, through, you know, what's the name of their capital now?
Cotonou.
Cotonou. You know, that's the economic capital, actually.
Yeah.
Driving down there, I couldn't pick one fueling station. But you can see by the roadside, people selling PMS in bits, you know, inside jerry cans. Yeah. Where did they get all those PMS from? From Nigeria. Right. So that's the same thing. They know when they take it outside there, they can sell more than double of how much they will sell here. So, and that's the ripple effect of that is that we have shortage here, and the little ones we have, the money will go up.
But it appears the government are saying we are going to control this now.
Let government control it, not by words of mouth,
especially
by actions.
December is here.
Anybody sabotaging our economy should be handled with iron hand. See, enough of speaking grammars. We speak too much grammars. Yeah. Let's go into action.
All right, and that will be all on the front page of the newspapers for today. Thank you, Ladeji.
It's always a pleasure.
And have a productive week as
well. You too.
Thank you. We'll go on a break right now. When we'll come back, Demola Adeleke's government at 1. Journey so far. Promises made, promises kept. Stay with us.
The inauguration of the 6th elected governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, took place at the Osogbo Township Stadium on Sunday, November 27th, with various dignitaries in attendance, political stalwarts from the People's Democratic Parties across the country, real fathers, friends and families of the Adeleke were there to watch the newly inaugurated governor take his oath of office. While taking his oath of office, Governor Adeleke swore to uphold the office in honesty and in truth and to defend the cause of the state.
Insert your name. Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. Do affirm. Do solemnly swear. Are you swearing? Affirm. That I will be faithful. That I will be faithful. And bear true allegiance. And bear allegiance. To the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will preserve. And that I will preserve. Protect. And defend. And defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. So help me God. Oath of office. I, your name, sir. Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. Do affirm. Do solemnly. Do affirm. That I will be faithful. That I will be faithful. And bear true allegiance. And bear true allegiance. To the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That as the governor of Osun State. That as the governor. Of Osun State. Of Osun State. I will discharge my duties. I will discharge my duties. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Faithfully. And always. In the interest. In the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will strive, to preserve, the fundamental objectives, and directive principles, of state policy contained in the Constitution, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will exercise the authority. Vested in me. As governor. So as not to impede. Or prejudice. The authority. Lawfully vested in the President. Vested in me. Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so as not to endanger. The continuance. Of Federal Republic. Of federal government. In Nigeria. That I will not allow my personal interest. To influence my official conduct. My official conduct. Or my official decisions. That I will. To the best of my ability. Preserve. Protect. And defend. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will abide. By the Code of Conduct.
All right, you're welcome back. That was the swearing-in ceremony of the Executive Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, exactly a year ago, and it was on a Sunday, and of course a year later. Today is Monday, 365 days later. How has he fared? What has he done? The promises that he made, is he making good of it? Is it coming through? Are the deliverables really measurable right now? When he took the oath of office to bear true allegiance to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to see to the welfare of the Osun people, the 5-point agenda, how, through is that coming in? And of course, that is what we will be talking about today. And I have these gentlemen here that are part of governance at some point. Of course, talking about the PDP government now, the former APC government, and here they are to speak on this matter. And my immediate right, I have Honorable Oladele Bamije. He is a senior special assistant to the governor on media. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
for
you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for having me.
Yes, and we have you call him honorable, you call him comrade, it's fine. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you here. He's a APC stalwart as well, and good to see you, gentlemen, again.
Thank you.
All right, the 365 days down the line. Let me start with Honorable Bamiji. How will you say the government in which you are serving in as fair? I know there can only be one answer, but then categorically, will you say you have made true and good of the promises? Your principal has made good all the promises that you talked about, considering the last 365 days?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me first of all say thank you and show tremendous appreciation to the good people of Osun State, the wonderful electorate who employed Governor Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke as their governor in the next 4 years, as at 2022, and in the first instance, and who have also supported him tremendously as well since his assumption of office this day last year. Because in democracy, like I used to say everywhere, in a democratic society, there is the little or nothing a government can achieve in atmosphere of rancor, in atmosphere of disenchantment. But in this case, in Osun State, people have demonstrated so well that, yes, you were our candidate, and we indeed voted for you. And that is why it has become so easy for Mr. Governor to have achieved this much within the space of just a year. And that is why it has also become very, very difficult for our friends in the opposition to criticize the government successfully, because the governor has the backing of his people. Yes, to answer your question, by the grace of God, considering the template, the atmosphere this government came in, you will agree with me that we just have to fulfill all righteousness of public or political conversations like this.
Yeah.
The governor achievement in the past 1 year is in the open. Too clear to see, even for the blind, because he has laid a very good stead for the development of this state away from the rudderlessness, recklessness of the past. He has been able to establish the fact that governance is about the people and nothing more. And that is why he has made it topmost of his priorities, as he promised, why seeking for this seat, for the job of the governor of Osun State, that the people's well-being will be his topmost priority.
Right.
And that is why he put the well-being of the state civil servants, the workforce of the state government, as his top number one priority in all of his agenda, especially the 5-point agenda, that the well-being of the state workers will be his priority, not just for want of what to do, not just because he loved the workers so much, but because of someone who has done so much in making research about what is working in Osun. what works even in our next door neighbor here in Oyo State. You cannot compare it to what we have in Osun State. The political realities, the economic trajectories are different. Are different because, like, when our governor in Oyo State was taking over, I'm not sure whether he met a galloping, a whooping total sum of like over 30 months of backlog of wages on ground to settle. I'm not sure he has over 500 billion to deal with as debt incurred by the past administrations without corresponding or commensurate work being done through it. So he has on his table that the state is a payee-driven economy, and he will have to work accordingly until that time, as he's doing now, that we are able to diversify properly, appropriately, our economic base, such that the people will not continue to suffer.
All right.
The state civil servants
yeah.
are the driver, the main driver of Osun State economy. And whenever they suffer, everybody suffers. And that is what we experienced in the past, and that is why things are changing today in Osun State.
Good to hear that. We will speak to the nitty-gritty in a bit further now. Let me come to Comrade Ayon Tunji. Your party, the APC, was in power for 12 years in Osun State. The former administration of Alhaji Boyega Oyetola was the one before Governor Adeleke came, in fact, defeated Alhaji Oyetola as well. So, 1 year down the line, he made promises to the people of the state. You are in the state, you live here, you see what is happening, you heard the promises. So, what would be your assessment of Adeleke's government in the last 1 year?
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Let me first congratulate Western Spring Television and LFM for the completion of grand finale of their anniversary. I congratulate the entire staff and the management.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having said that, let me also congratulate the governor, His Excellency, Senator Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke, for 1 year in office. Not really congratulating his personality, but I'm congratulating the people of Osun State for revolving democracy. At least in recent time, we're having periodic election. We have witnessed it where we have opposition party taking over power, where we have ruling party being defeated. So it means our democracy is growing regardless of our challenges. So I congratulate the people of Osun for that. But having said that, it's unfortunate that this morning, Mr. Governor violated our expectation, not only as opposition as well of the state, because it's not in the country. Yes, it's entitled to either work vacation or medical vacation. But it is expected that a day like this is significant, where the people of Osun expect you to tell them what you have done in 1 year, and where people will also have opportunity to also audit your performance in 1 year. But yeah, they have told us what they want us to believe, but the fact is there to know that the governor is outside the country for a different purpose that is...
What are they telling you? What do you believe?
Yes, we strongly believe with the statement our spokesperson issued yesterday that the governor is really on medical vacation, which is entitled to, you understand? And that's why we are saying they should be sincere enough with the people of the state. It's entitled to, anybody can go for medical vacation. It's not exempting anybody. So having said that, when you look at that administration in 1 year, the only beauty of that administration is that, okay, we have a democracy that is revolving. At least he won an election, and the Apex Court in Nigeria also confirmed it. If you remove that out of his government, there is nothing to celebrate. One, when this government came, they created a very large impression that they are so large in experience, they are so large in family background, they are so large in governance. But at the end of the day, we discover that they are so tiny in innovation and business, because what they eventually reintroduced to Osun that has been thrown to the dustbin of history is corruption, impunity, and they have succeeded in reducing governance to pettiness in Osun. When you look at the administration from beginning, it's an administration that came here November last year, and the foundation of any administration is appropriation law. When they came, they were not comfortable with the existing appropriation law. They have their own project, they have their own initiative. And what was expected by law, in accordance with our constitution and in accordance with transparency and accountability policy, is to present a supplementary budget to the House of Assembly to look at it and approve it. Yes, the governor, he has his promises to the people. By the end of the day, they ended up embarking on extra budgetary spending, you understand, which ordinarily, if it's in a sane society, is an impeachable offense. Until November, this year where they secure an approval. I don't know how do you secure an approval of the House of Assembly for the money or the fund or the project already executed. You understand? That's number one. It was the same this administration that we witnessed all manner of impunity, where House of Assembly became an instrument to remove, to destroy institutions, including the judiciary, which is the most recent, the CJ. We have witnessed a situation whereby the House of Assembly will carry out an investigation without even conclude that investigation, without even issuing any report on that investigation. You just discover that that person has been suspended. You understand? In flagrant disobedience to existing procedure.
You're talking about the CJ matter?
Not only CJ matter, we have the Director of Hospital Protection Kiri. It is the same administration. That day, we can never forget in the history of the state. Yes, it's remarkable that we have a new administration, but also remarkable for violence and impunity. It was that day that they declared that executive order that some kings should vacate their palaces, which turned to violence. Ordinarily, the issue of king ownership during our administration, even despite that we have pocket of crisis, has been reduced to the barest minimum. But that executive order reignited crisis all over the states, where they begin to bomb palaces, attack palaces, and we also witness the issue of park management. You understand? These are the issues that you can manage politically, administratively, that such transition will go smoothly if you have approached it in a way that's but they approach it in a way that it look like a vendetta. You understand? That we are just coming to destabilize certain issues. So far so good to me. Nothing to celebrate in terms of performance, nothing to celebrate in terms of good governance, nothing to celebrate in terms of accountability and transparency. You understand? So that government is a disappointment in 1 year. I can say
that's your assumption.
Yes, it's not assumption. There are evidence-based. What I'm listing now, if you want to measure the success of any government, these are the key indices. You look at accountability aspect of it. You look at obedience to the rule of law. You understand? You look at the due process. All these variables are missing in the last 1 year. And I've just mentioned a few. So therefore, in a same climb, you can't conclude, in totality of it, you discover that this government has not impressed the people of the state in the last 1 year.
All right, Mr. Ayotunji, I'm going to take you on that statement you mentioned about the governor going on medical leave. In a statement by the Osun APC chairman, Mr. Tajuddin Lawal, he also made mention that the governor, I'm quoting him now, he said that we know very well that Governor Adeleke has absconded from the state, so he would not be able to give due account of his stewardship to the people of the state. Since you're in the studio now, I would want to confirm that that is the position of the APC, that the governor absconded from his people because he doesn't want to physically present his report card to those who employed him, as said by Mr. Bamiji earlier on.
Yes, I said it, and thank God that you are making reference to that statement. That statement is clear enough. And we have said it that everybody is entitled to any vacation. But in a day like this, you understand, 365 days is important to the people of Osun. It's a quarter of your administration, at least for the first time. And people are expecting you to come and when you now explain, yes, if they give a medical reason, all of us will accept. There is nobody that can. Everybody needs medical attention because your life is most important. You understand? And we want him to continue to live in good health so that he can perform excellently as governor. That's our expectation. Okay. And when you now absconded in a day like this, yes, that's right to go. But it's not in the best interest of anybody. It's not in the beauty of a democracy is for you to be accountable to the people. And when you fail in that respect, you understand? Definitely, it will be assumed that it has come there because he has nothing to tell the people of the state as a good story in the last 1 year.
Mr. Bamiji, would you like to react to that? Where is your principal at this historic day?
Thank you very much.
And why has he absconded?
I take exception to that word.
That's the position of the APC.
They don't have any other choice. That is the work or that is the corner they have been confined to by the people of Osun State. So they don't have any other choice than to employ whatever grammar in frivolity and within the ambit of their newly found job, the opposition. They don't have a choice. But for us, I want to correct an impression, because one of the mantra this government is standing on is the culture of prudence. I don't know where this culture is coming from. I don't understand. Because it is not in our laws that if you are in office, every year you must earmark or set aside like 100 million or 200 million people's money to begin to flowing babariga around and begin to dance. Even when you know you are in a society where there is more work to be done. I don't know whether that is in our laws. Perhaps if the governor should be around by force, just because he's clocking a year in office, he should even declare holiday too, so that all businesses will go on vacation, just because somebody is celebrating a year. So maybe part of the thing this administration led by His Excellency want us to imbibe is this culture of prudence. You don't begin to junkette about in frivolities, unnecessary wastage. For what? When there are roads to be completed, when there are schools to be renovated, as at today, except for the normal press briefing to be done, it will be work as usual.
Mr. Bamiji, who will do the normal press briefing? And you are kind of sort of evading the question. Where is Mr. Governor at this time? The report by the spokesperson to Mr. Governor said he's on a working vacation.
Yes.
When you say working vacation, what kind of work is he doing outside of the country? You talked about prudence, and one will want to ask, if Mr. Governor is actually on a working vacation, or is he holidaying in the U.S. to celebrate his 1 year in office? I mean,
you keep. This is what I want you to change, even in your own mind, and even in your own mindset.
What's that?
You don't begin to encourage frivolities in government. Anybody elected into office, we have our laws. The first layer of assignment given to Mr. Governor has in 4 years. You don't begin it's 1 year in office. My sister, there is nothing a government will celebrate that will not go millions of naira. If we want to do it, we invite WSTV to the place to come and beam it live.
Yeah.
As stakeholders in the media sector of the state, as big as you are, you will not do it for us free. You will not. You will collect money. We will employ the services of AIT or channels. You know what an hour cost. Why, instead of all this, why not devote your energy, the financial energy of the state, into other profitable purposes?
How about his accountability to his people?
That employed him in
the
the
governor,
office.
you will recall, and I'm very sure this station is aware, that periodically everything he has been doing, he communicates with his people. Very recently, he championed a press briefing where he communicated some of what he has done. Very, very recently, like 2 weeks ago, that everything he has done and those he has in plans.
All right.
That is how it works in a civilized society. Don't let us, as media outfits, don't let us continue to encourage wastage in government.
What we are saying is
in our society anyway.
Nobody is inferring that there should be wastage. We're only saying,
we are expecting the governor to be around.
If I may, of course.
By compulsorily.
The people of the state are his employers.
Today,
they're asking for
the
their
people of the state
governor.
are his employers.
yes,
Isn't it?
and he is not. He is not too far from his people.
Don't they deserve to know?
Every project the governor has done or inaugurated this past 1 year, the people of the state were well carried along.
The people that employ him, that's the Osun people,
Yes.
as confirmed by the judiciary as well, don't they deserve to know that on a day like this, you know, the person, the people, millions of people that voted for him, by the way, deserve to see him, to say, 1 year down the line, this is what we have done, but you are saying that's not necessary
It's not been
because your government should not spend money
it's
to
not,
encourage frivolity.
it's not, it's,
And we have asked repeatedly, where is the government?
it's not been a masquerade in government. People have been seeing him repeatedly
Okay.
Mr.
in the past 1 year. So I don't know why it is a must that because he's clocking a year today, you must see him.
Where is he?
It is not eating.
No, I'm
It's
asking
on
you,
a working vacation as put out by the spokesperson. So I don't know whether
No,
that
you
is
are
bad.
here with us on the program.
Yes.
And many persons might not have read what the spokesperson said.
Okay,
So we are
it's
asking
on
you
a working vacation
to where?
Where?
to some European countries.
Okay.
He also told us, don't forget,
Yes.
during electioneering,
Yeah.
and it is not even a hidden thing. We know his background, that he has his contacts all around the world. You don't sit in one corner of your room and think that it is possible you will be able to galvanize all these contacts. What works over there is not the same thing here. You have to be present to explain yourselves as to what you want to do with their support, what is available in your state, which is part of what the government has been doing.
Okay.
You know, trying to make available good road connectivity here and there, so that when you go to these people, you will not be putting yourself in a tight corner, because they don't negotiate their own conditions away from any kind of friendship you
Honorable
have.
Babangida, good
There
to
should
know.
be basic amenities on ground
Yeah.
for you to get their support.
You expect
So
that
this is part of what even the president of Nigeria, he will always travel out.
That's fine. You
To-
know,
to
it's expected that he's the #1 marketer of
Yes,
the state.
of the state.
But what I want to say, all these meetings that he has gone for, when other governors, or even when the president goes for it, we see pictures, we see videos. We haven't seen any. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think you have to bother yourself with
These
all
are the
that.
things we see.
I'm not sure you
Because
have to
if you
bother
can't see
yourself.
him physically, then we should see him virtually.
And know what he is doing.
I believe you are wishing him well.
Of course, we do.
All right.
Everybody
If
does.
it is all about
Even
the
Mr. Antunji here does.
if it is about pictures, you will get enough
To
pictures.
show that
But
this
for
is
us,
what he's doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will get enough
It's
pictures.
part of accountability.
This is not America or Germany or wherever. It's not Ire here. It's not Odiomu. It's not even Oshogbo. So sit back and wait for your pictures. But for us,
No, not our pictures.
yes, for
It's
the
what
pictures,
you show
for the pictures
the
you are
people that,
expecting.
yes, this is what I'm doing, these are the people I'm
for
working
the
with.
pictures you are
It's
expecting.
part of the accountability.
But as far as I'm concerned, I repeat, this yearly or monthly celebration, it is too much in our culture. Some
be accountable to the
some
people.
people will get a child,
All right.
blessed by God,
All right.
with a child, and the next month you say you are celebrating birthday, the little money you are supposed to plow back into your family finances, you are using it to buy cake around
All right,
and
that's
what have
fine.
you. It's not too good
It's
for
all right.
us.
Mr. Antonio, I see you in a kind of way making a face. You want to react to what they have said?
Yes, of course. Well, let me just say that I always say it that those that are managing the communication of the current government in the state, they're having a very complex assignment to carry out. And
How do you mean?
that is why, in most cases, you will see inconsistency in some of their communication, because it's double standard where you say you can't roll out drums for 1 year administration. All of us were in this state when they have their 100 days. It was a celebration galore. Just 3 months. Celebration, they were commissioning projects, road,
Thank you.
engagement, all
Thank you
this, all that.
for
You understand?
confirming that.
So, if you can do that in 3 months,
Not that this.
you understand? In 100 days. Now, a quarter of your administration, people are asking fundamental question that, okay, what have you done? A year is very important to the life of any state. You understand? And to the life of any country. So, and when people of the state elect you, it is a tradition in any way. You understand? Even in this year of this state, this will be the fourth governor that will not be physically present to to give account of his first administration in the issue of this. Go and do your findings. The democratically elected governor that will not be accountable to his people for the first time in the history of Osun, in the first year is so. But what you are saying is this: you understand? Be sincere to the people of the state. At least, look, one of the trust of governance is transparency. Yeah. You understand? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Germany a few days ago. You understand? To engage investors. It was there live, talking to people. Many national stations televise it. You understand? When people go abroad to go and scout for investors, you see them on daily basis. Their media will even report the outcome of those investment engagement. You understand? So that people also can even track that. Nobody is quarreling with that. But we have on good authority, as contained in the statement of our party, that the governor is on medical vacation. Why is it so difficult to tell us that the governor is on medical vacation? We are praying for him. We wish him well, because nobody can remove Ademola Adeleke for the next 4 years, whether anybody like him or not.
Nobody.
He's the governor of this state. You understand? Constitutionally. And if they put this state in reverse gear for 4 years, for the next 12, 30 years, we might not survive it as a state. As of today, as a country, we are still suffering the backlash of a military regime in Nigeria. You understand? So that is why a day, a month, a week, a year is important to us as a party who want development of this state. Of this state. And that's why we're asking all these questions. Okay. By now, what we expect that after the state address by Mr. Governor, they can't do a live program to really tell people will call him, people will ask questions. This is the tradition.
So you think it's intentional for him, because your party says it's about him not having anything to say?
Of course, that is definitely, you have no reason not to conclude.
But you just spoke about that during the 100 days. It was commissioning project.
Yes, that's what that's why I said it's double standard. Why is it difficult now? If it is possible in 100 days, you just don't want to waste money, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. What you can achieve in 100 days, you can't achieve it in 1 year. What you can achieve in 1 year, so if you can do that in 100 days, why is it difficult now?
Because it's outside
the country, and we have no reason not to conclude that. He has no reason to tell the people of the state. Because when you look at the controversy that have surrounded this administration in the last 8 months, you pity this state.
All right, let me take you up on the performance. Now we have to move. Time is of essence. You just spoke, and you confirmed that in the 100 days, the government of Adeleke were rolling out projects, and you confirm it yourself. So you are affirming that yes, they have been working, isn't it?
Yes. Well, to me, the difference between a government that is serious or a government that is all out for frivolity.
But what I said they were perfect.
Yes. No, I never said that. Don't misquote me. I said in their 100 days, they roll out drums.
Rolling drums.
You understand? And why they roll out drums? They roll out drums to commission a borehole that 80% of them are not functioning. Which, as of today, the cost of the unit of that borehole, except what the governor said, which we still find difficult to believe, that project cost 1.5 million naira per unit. You understand? And as of today, 80% of that borehole are not working. Are you getting it now? Yeah. So they said they do Imole medical outreach in 100 days. You understand? Those are the projects that, when you even look at the fund they used to celebrate that 100 days, could not even match the fund they expended on those projects. You understand? So that's what I'm saying is that if the governor appear during 100 days, why is it difficult for him to appear in first anniversary? So that's why we have no reason not to conclude that he deliberately absconded, you know, to avoid interrogation from the people of the state. Right. So we have no reason not to conclude. So there's nothing that is impressive now. But the issue is this. Yes. When you look at the administration from beginning to the end, I just spoke about accountability. I just spoke about extra budgetary spending. You understand? Not to talk of budgeting almost 8 billion to run office of the governor in 3 months. You understand? We have raised alarm over this. That's why Assembly is also using 822 million naira to run the house in 3 months. These are the issues we have raised in a state where the governor has consistent and persistent to roll out palliative, despite benefiting from the subsidy removal. The 9 billion is still currently within the custody of the Osun governor, unaccounted for. You understand? As a subsidy palliative, except 2 days ago where they roll out second-hand bosses out. These are the issue. Well, look at other states now. People are adding salary to worker salary. People are rolling out the incentive for retirees, for pensioner, for market woman. You know, sir. Such thing has never happened in Osun, and we are also a beneficiary of subsidy.
Okay.
So these are the issues in the last 1 year because we are now in subsidy removal regime, which all the 3 tiers of government are beneficiary of this federal government both step.
Yeah.
Mr. Babaji,
Yes.
you know, Mr. Ayatunji has said a lot, especially talking about the issue of palliatives, talking about how prudent, truly prudent this Adeleke administration has been. Would you like to react to that? How prudent really has the Ademola Adeleke administration been, and what is delaying the rolling out of palliatives to the people of Osun State? Because it's 6 months after the removal of the fuel subsidy. What is really delaying this administration from giving the people what they duly deserve?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very sorry for our people in the APC. Perhaps because this is not a government of Enikin and St. Maurice. We feel that anything should just go.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, he knows what I mean.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean.
For us,
That's to explain for the people to know that.
for
So,
us,
it's your thoughts. You have to expatiate
for us,
this.
we will not engage in unnecessary spending as far as this administration is concerned.
Giving the
And that
people
is why-
palliative is unnecessary spending, Mr.
That is
Babaji.
why so far,
Yeah.
most of the abandoned projects by the immediate past administration have been taken care of. Look at the Kiron Akuda road. That road should have been completed by the administration of the defeated Gboyega Oyetola. He left it undone, untouched throughout his regime. That was a project the administration borrowed heavily, using the people of the state as collateral to complete. It was not completed because he was the chief of staff. Because that is, it is shameful. Most of the time, they want to exonerate that man from the regime of his boss, former Governor Rauf Aregbesola. It was even touted that he was the brain box of that administration. And he never for once raised a finger of objection to that impression. Yet, when he got into office, he abandoned virtually all these projects. But in the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke, anything underlined with the fund of Osun State, we have to be taken care of. Yeah. Because in the final analysis, it is the people of the state that will benefit from it. That is why the ring road, cycling Oshogbo, is not being completed. That project too should have been completed right before now. That would not have been another burden on the neck of this administration if they have been responsive and responsible enough in office. Such will not be a kind of burden again now. All funds being plowed into those projects will be plowed into other profitable ventures for the state. That is why I feel they know no shame. This road from Akoda to Magan should have been completed. 29.5 kilometers, over 30 billion naira borrowed. That's part of what the state is facing today. That is why on a monthly basis, the state will be servicing debt of close to 3 billion. So even if you are getting how much, and 3 billion is taken away from your purse, how much will be left to do other things in the state? That is why I say they know no share. And somebody now came and began to address this thing holistically, systematically. That is why I said what works in Oyo State might not work here. You know the kind of burden, wicked at that you left for this state when you are on board.
Government is a continuum, isn't it?
Yes, government is a continuum. That's not government is a continuum, but those who left burden of difficult continuity of such government should crawl into their shell because of the shame associated with what they did.
Honorable,
So
so you say you saw it like that before you applied for the job, and that was what you say.
Thank God we even got the job.
That was what you told the people that you are coming to.
Yes, that is why the government is correcting.
It sounded like an excuse.
No, that is why the government is. If it is going to be an excuse, we will not be on those projects completing them as of today. If it is an excuse, the governor will not look at Osun State and say, oh, they are calling a state Osun, and the people cannot have water to drink. That is why the governor felt, okay, while we are looking at those major water projects sites in the state, let us do an immediate intervention. And that is what brought about the sinking of 332 boreholes, of which another phase will come, because it is irrational. That's
Formerly, actually, 80% of it are not working.
I don't know. Maybe he has gone to the one in his ward that is not working. How much of the state does he know? How much of this site of the borehole has he gotten to? For him to conclude that. You should go and tell the people in Ikinu or my ward in Egbedore that they are not. You should go and get a megaphone and tell them that Adeleke is not working, the ball is not. They will lynch him. He knows. He has been crisscrossing media houses to discredit this administration in the past 1 week. He knows the feedback he's been getting. He knows that those feedbacks should be a kind of wake-up call and referendum on their image as a party.
Let's stick to the issues now.
That's what I'm saying. In sticking to the issue, we cannot run away from elements of the issues.
All right, before we take the 5-point agenda, you spoke about water and that you can be in Osun and not have good water, potable water to drink. The Lesha Water Project appears abandoned.
It's part of the...
What happened?
Because there are issues...
Because when the state governor came, he told them to halt the process. And then people have been wondering what's going on. This is one project that has taken like eternity.
There are issues of corruption. If you remember, there are issues of corruption instigated or caused by the Boyega administration on that water project.
How so?
There are so many bottlenecks in government. When you have several billions to do a water project in Ilesha, and you did not complete it. That was when the coordinator of that project was alleging the State House of Assembly, headed by Mr. Uweye, that they were demanding for around 5 billion or so. Those are the issues. The governor has been visiting Abuja because of this, because it is not the state, it's not our state affair alone. Because there are issues. In fact, in fullness of time, some people will have themselves before the court of justice.
So what's the state of that project right now? Because bottlenecks or issues and the Ilesha people should not suffer for those bottlenecks.
Not just Ilesha people.
It has taken
Osogbo people will also not suffer.
Yeah. So what's the state right now?
It is on the verge of being completed. Because
but what can
you have enough funds. That is where I want us to look at. You have enough funds, just like I just enumerated. Now there are enough funds. Some where there are no enough funds, where there was no enough funds, these people went to lending markets, borrowed more than enough funds, invested it, purportedly invested it on this project without any success.
All right, Mr.
Where were the funds? Why did all these billions, several billions? As of today, the state is servicing around 500 billion naira. On what?
All right, Mr.
What's
Bamiji.
of these guys?
Mr. Bamiji, let's move forward because we have time constraints at this time. Femi mentioned the fact that you saw the job, how messy it was before you tendered your application for the job, and now you got the job.
And that is why we are addressing it.
But it seems you keep pointing accusing fingers at the past administration.
We will point accusing fingers when they come up with this kind of comments.
Mr. Bamiji, let's move forward. Let's look at the 5-point agenda on which Mr. Governor rode on to get to the seat. The Adeleke administration promised to give, that's one of the 5-point agenda, to give the welfare of workers and pensioners the attention it deserves, noting that as governor, he would ensure first-line charge for workers' welfare, salaries, gratuities, and pensions. And the others on the list are boosting state economy by business partnering and support for business class, Osun money serving Osun people through homegrown infrastructure policy, people-focused social policy through skill-based education, affordable healthcare, state security and social security support, and lastly, but not the least, agro-based industrialization for wealth and job creation for youths and women. I'm going to focus on that last point there, which talks about the agro-based industrialization for wealth and a job creation for youths and women. We know that Osun State is always referred to as a civil service state. And I'm sure the governor wants a departure from these. That's why he brought on the 5-point agenda. What progress has been made by this administration on the agenda of Mr. Governor for agro-based industrialization for wealth and job creation for youth and women?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sure you have been in this state. That's why I say most of what Mr. Governor has done, one after the other, have been effectively communicated to the people of the state. You have mentioned the issue of pensioners and state workforce. That one is on the first line chart. If you look at the list very well, and the governor has not reneged on that promise. He has made sure that the state workforce, being the mainstay of our economy, like I mentioned earlier, are taken care of, not just because of liking their face, but because they are the facts of our economy. In a pay-as-you-earn economy like as this, and you think the fulcrum or the nucleus of such economy are neglected, just like we have in the past, then the state will suffer. That is why the pensioners are also being taken care of. These are the people that have served the state with the best of their days. And it is wicked.
All right.
Mr. Babaji,
so for
because
us,
of time, let's focus on agenda point number 5 on the agro-based industrialization for wealth and job creation for youth and women.
That is that. If you say Mr. Governor is not around, I just don't want to, because my own personal style, I don't like jumping at something that is not within my purview. But as far as I'm concerned, that is part of what the little I know, the much I know, is part of what this governor has gone to do overseas.
All right.
So which is being criticized now.
So it's safe to say in the last 1 year,
nothing has been
he
done
hasn't touched that
on
point
this.
at all. That's what you're saying.
If you get to the Ministry of Agri today, we have had several input distributed to the farmers.
So youth and women, what has Adeleke done in the last 1 year?
I believe you have.
Based on
I
this
don't know
agenda.
whether you have covered the fund involving the youth. There is this ICT policy, Startup Act, being domesticated in Osun State.
Those haven't turned to jobs.
You don't begin.
The last 1 year. That's why we are speaking on that.
My dear brother, you don't begin to run the very first day you were born. This is just the first year of 8-year administration.
4 years.
Is it 4 years?
Yes, in the first instance. You have to say amen. If you really,
there should
The
be
people
that
will say
say
amen
that.
to that.
I agree with you.
But
4
but
years.
it's safe to say
it is just
in the
1
last
year.
1 year, he hasn't touched this part. The work is ongoing. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's there have been programs.
Creation of jobs is not the same thing as rolling out a policy.
If you don't lay your bed, you will not even sleep on it. As far as we are concerned, you have to have very good foundation for whatever you want to do. If you don't have, especially things that have to do with laws, there is a national policy or law speaking to startup arts and
All right.
ICT.
You know,
If you don't domesticate it within your own enclave, it might be difficult to
But what
operate
we say, it doesn't have to
successfully.
take a year to roll out a policy and have some stuff on it. But let's take some quick fixes, and then we take it to Mr. Ayotunji. The palliative that people were expecting, the federal government gave all the states grains of rice, and then there was a committee that was put together, and on behalf of the state, one we want to say, what has the Osun State done by Osun State government for the Osun people? Number one. Number two, the money that was given by the federal government, what is it?
Thank you very
Where
much.
is it, Rabbi?
I congratulate
Quick one.
APC federal government of Nigeria for successfully diverting attention of the people of Nigeria away from their own sins.
How so?
That is my own perception of this whole scenario. The issue that brought about palliative, remember, it was not the making of these state governors. Because they were not, I remember vividly, they were not even consulted when the fuel subsidy removal was effected on the day of inauguration of Mr. President. Now, that's what brought about the issue of palliative. And chronologically, you will remember too, that what was previously mounted with the issue of palliative was like 5 billion naira to be accrued to each state. Yes.
How much was given?
For us, 2 billion naira was given.
So where is it?
But like I mentioned, don't let us encourage frivolities. For us, what Osun State is not Oyo, it's not Kwara. We have different factors affecting governance in those states. But just to answer your question straight, the governor has started with the palliative plans. He has just rolled out some vehicles, some buses, at least to cushion the effect.
Those buses are refurbished buses. They are not new buses.
You should even give the governor a pat on the back.
Why?
For refurbishing those vehicles.
When you say you rolled it out,
yes,
many person will think you bought it.
It is convenient for the governor. You must be a business manager in a bit. If it is convenient for the governor, just like it was convenient for the immediate past administration, to abandon those work and allow them rot away.
You know, we have to move to it. We have to go. The 2 billion naira.
Why those ones are being refurbished? The orders have been placed for new ones to be brought in, and going into December, the festive period, food palliatives will also come in to be distributed to the people of Osun State.
Is that what you will use the 2 billion for your government?
That is what it is meant for. The other 7 billion, it's not for anything like food palliatives.
But it's taking like forever for people to know that it will be used on refurbished stuff and you know. But let's take it to Mr. Ayotunji now. I believe Honorable Bamiji has said so many things, and I can see you making some faces to say possibly you don't agree with what he has said.
Well, I just decided not to interject, at least to give them today, so that if the governor is not around, some of his aides can really. We also want to hear. That's why I give him that. That's why we give him that time. Maybe he can tell us new things we have not had before. And when you listen to him, you will know that he only validates our assumption that this government is the worst in the history of Osun. Let us take it sector by sector. And that's why we always say that this government is not, it's just a government of a very weak abstract in terms of performance and governance. Weak abstract in the sense that all what they are saying, you can hardly see it. Even if you cannot see it, you are going to have a very weak perception. You hardly smell it. You can hardly touch it. And that's why our own administration is a government of concrete delivery. During administration of Adibo Igoyetola, and that's why I have to disagree with him. In 1 year, by this time we are telling people of Osun that yes, we had the intention of renovating 232 health center. But in 4 years, we have completed the 100. And we show them that 100. In our first 100 days, Alekuodo Road, Oribomeje, Moro, Edwaban Road, you understand? We commission it in reasons of it, and we said we are going to review the previous administration education policy. By 1 year, we have returned our education policy to the national, in compliance with the national education policy. When we came, we met, yes, it's our government, and we knew that
That
there
is
was
what I
a
want
serious
you to
economic
do.
recession when Rafa Aregbesola was paying modulated salary. But when Oyetola came, Oyetola said, my part with the poor of Osun is to pay full salary. Not only that, that I will be committing 500 million as a pension obligation to the contributing pensioners and 300 million naira as my monthly commitment to the regular pensioner. And he left that and he never defaulted. Go and check the record. Without borrow a dime. And by 1 year, you are able to account to the people of Osun that this is what you have done in 1 year. But let's now take them sectorially because it's just going up and down. Let us take them.
Sorry, so that so that we have things put in the right context. You said during the administration of Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, you paid salaries and you never owed. I remember there were promotions that were done that didn't
On
come with
paper.
commensurate money.
Yes.
No cash
What
back.
will you, what,
Yeah,
what
yes,
will you
of
say
course.
about that?
You might say that that promotion was not implemented substantially.
I'm not the one saying it. It happened.
Yes, I'm telling you what happened that time. But what happened that time was that, okay,
Towards election.
what happened that time was that, let me tell you what happened. What happened was that we discovered that civil service is a lifespan. And even when government does not even have money to pay the promotional financial obligation, you understand? You cannot also peg people to a certain level because the years are running.
Yeah.
And when the years is running, there is no way. If the fulfillment of any civil servant is to reach the peak of a director of peer, and we say, okay, let us give you promotion. You may not have the substantial amount that the promotion attracts, but we give you certain percentage. It's a win-win for them. One, you are moving higher. Two, you are also getting higher money because that time, the question you should ask is that how much do we even have access to as a government? This is a government that will come to Abuja in most cases and come home with deficit. After we are not lamenting. You understand? We took
Take
that job.
responsibility
And
for once.
that's
This is what I hate.
and that's why we are
Take
explaining. I'm not
responsibility for your own
interjecting. Let me
failure.
explain.
Take
Don't beg the question.
responsibility.
You understand?
We
Let
have
me
like 3
explain.
minutes to go, gentlemen.
Yes, let me explain. That time, you understand, it's a win-win situation for any civil servant that time. All we are saying now was that what was
But many of them never saw it
yes,
that way.
what
Because
was
what's the
the
promotion that
How would they see you
what
that
was
way,
the resources
my dear brother?
available to us? The
You are
average,
you are
the
promoted
average,
on paper.
the average monthly allocation, the
Yes.
average monthly allocation we had in the last 4 years was around 3.5 billion, 4 billion. That was that years on the average. Sometimes we get 4 billion, sometimes we get 1 billion. But now, since May,
about that
Sometimes you get
since
five,
May,
sometimes
since
you
May,
get six.
since May, the least on the average, that this administration has got 7 billion after the removal of subsidy. And that's why we ask the question that we are in a rainy period now. You understand? If any state should be in honeymoon now, also should be in honeymoon.
So are you
because of the
saying
available
what they are having now, the work they are doing is not commensurate to what they are earning?
what they are having in the last 1 year
Oshuna.
is more than what we have in half of our administration as a state. You understand? Go and check the record, go and check the fact record.
All right,
And
Mr.
that's why we
Ayotunji.
begin to ask that question that this government has failed the people of Osun. They are not living to expectation in no ramification. And that's why somebody that allow us to take it sector by sector so that the people of Osun can really see how they fail. Look at what the problem we are facing in health sector now. You understand? They employ some health workers, they still sack them. The one they inherited, they sack them. Oyis is having K-leg as I'm talking to you. He knows. You understand? And I pray that they will not collapse that decision that has been a symbol and a model of efficient health
Mr.
management.
Ayotunji, we are out of time. Last question for you. As the main opposition party, I should say, in the state, how united is your party at this time?
Well, let me tell you that what is happening now.
We have
To
like
us-
30 seconds.
Yes,
for that.
to us as a state, to us and as opposition party, is a grievous mistake. And as a party, we never allow that to happen again. So we are united under the leadership of Alhaji Tajuddin
Have you been
Lawal.
able to bring in the faction of the former Interior Minister Rauf Aregbesola?
There is no faction in APC.
Are you saying
understand?
that?
There is no faction in APC.
Is the former minister, a
An
devoted
APC.
member of APC in
Up
the
to
state?
today, nobody has expelled him from APC. He has not been he has not been suspended from APC. You understand? So I really want to answer that
All right,
question.
thank you.
understand? So, but nobody
Comrade
has issue
Andrew.
with us.
In 1 second, who is the leader of APC now?
In Osun,
Yeah.
by provision of our constitution,
Yes.
is Alhaji Isiaka Adegboyega Oyetola. Is the
All right.
highest political office holder in our party now.
All right,
and
thank
is
you.
the leader of the party.
Honorable Bamiji, your party short. 1 year in office, your principal, has completed 365 days, and now 3, years remaining by confines of our law. What's next?
What next?
In 30 seconds.
What next? The governor has told the people of the state before he traveled What next is the infra plans as rolled out by the governor, which he will pursue religiously going forward by the grace of God. The flyovers as earmarked, the roads rehabilitation as earmarked, the health center rehabilitations as earmarked. All will be done going forward. And again, to thank the people for their support. It is through their support that all this becomes achievable, and they will be achieved by the grace of God Almighty.
Thank you very much. And we just sincerely hope our intra-roads that leads to our company will be...
I used to say that it has always been part of your report on this station. If you are reporting anything
of course, because you apply the road yourself. Thank you. You apply the road yourself. And we don't have 4160 million naira for SUV.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I want to sincerely thank you, Honorable Oladile Bamije, Senior Special Assistant on Media to the Governor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And of course, Honorable Kainde Ayon, Comrade. Okay, you prefer the Comrade
Yes,
to that. Comrade Kainde Ayon Tunji, APC star for coming. May Ocean prosper, may Nigeria prosper. Femi Ojo is my name. See you tomorrow.
And my name is Evelyn Ohiola. Have yourself a good day. Bye.